Happy Friday, y'all. Hello, good afternoon. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Get on in here. We are talking about all things divorce in the black today. Divorce in the black. Give y'all a couple minutes to pop on up in here. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. So happy Friday, y'all. If you know, around here, our Friday starts at 5 o'clock on Thursday. So we are already 1 hour into the long weekend because we get started early. But today we're going to be talking about the movie Divorce in the Black. I'm sure many of you saw it. Would love to know if you would give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Did you enjoy Divorce in the Black or did you hate Divorce in the Black? But for me, the way I get down, I didn't know anything about the movie. All I knew was that it was produced or created, directed, written by Tyler Perry, number one. Number two, that Megan Good and Corey Hadrick were starring in it, and it was about divorce. I hadn't seen any trailers. I hadn't read anything about the plot line. So I kind of walked into it not with huge expectations. But for me, I guess the expectation that I did have was that it would start off in a good place and end up at divorce. So I was quite shocked when from the beginning, like you could tell that there was issues. That scene, that funeral scene, it was so many things going wrong. So many things going wrong in that initial scene. Hey, cuz, welcome to the live. Want to know, did you see Divorce in the Black? If you did, I want to know what you thought about it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Thumbs up or thumbs down? We are talking about all things Divorce in the Black. So yeah, I was sharing that I didn't have any expectations because I didn't watch the trailer or any knowledge of what it would actually be about, besides the fact that divorce is in it. And so I expected them to start off in a good place and eventually get to divorce. So I was really caught off guard. And immediately there was one little movement in that funeral scene where Dallas moved Ava's hand off his lap during the funeral. And I was like, ooh, this is bad. Like I was already in the space of y'all need to break up. Immediately, y'all need to break up because that was very like passive aggressive. But like it felt like she was trying to console him and he was not having it at all. So I feel like that was my first inkling of this isn't gonna start off in a good place. But I will say that it started off really heavy for me. I mean, it was just sad moment after sad moment after sad moment. So that wasn't my favorite part, but a moment that shifted my perspective and made me just be a little bit open to where the film was going to go was when her parents sat her down and showed her the video of how she showed up in the world prior to being married, being happy and jovial. And then after the marriage, how she was always in this space of like sadness, depression, like you could see it on her. She became quiet. And for me, that was very, very pivotal, right? Because it's so important to have those people in your lives who can show you who you are or how you are evolving. And it has to be people that you trust. You know, you can't just have anybody popping up and being like, girl, you done changed, because we are all in a constant state of evolving. And sometimes that makes people uncomfortable. But those people that you know, love, like, trust, it's important to, have those people close to you so that hopefully they can give you, a little tap on the shoulder to be like, girl, you're moving away from yourself, because sometimes we can't see ourselves. I know for myself, I'll never forget this moment. It was July, summertime. I was hanging out with my girls. We were having brunch at my homegirl's bakery. We was having a good time. We was cutting up. We was eating. We was drinking, having a blast. And after a while, things settled down and we sat down. And my homegirl, my best friend, she was like, y'all, my best friend is depressed and I don't know what to do about it. Mic drop, because I knew she was talking about me. I had no idea that I was depressed. But when she said it, it like gave a name to the thing that I was probably experiencing and trying to hide. And I'm so grateful for that moment, because that definitely was a pivotal moment in my life in terms of like being intentional about how do I get back to Black, if you will. So I love that scene, whatever her parents kind of showed her, the before and the after. And I think it helped her to reconnect with who she used to be. And it's really easy for us to get caught up in like who we are today in this space that we're in, but it's not a bad thing to take a look back and be reflective, to just take a look at your growth and seeing how you've evolved, because those little pit stops can be the thing to keep you from like spiraling out of control and end up in a place where you don't want to be. So I absolutely love that section. When old buddy got real excited and was talking out the side of his neck, talking about, I want you to be there tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. to sign these divorce papers, and I don't want to hear nothing else from you. And homegirl showed up exactly as he requested. And that moment when she said, I want to leave this divorce in the Black, that's really when it all made sense for me, because the accountant in me knows the difference between being in the red versus being in the Black, right? Being in the red represents loss. It represents being in a deficit. Whereas being in the Black means you're good, you're turning over a profit, you're growing. It is a positive state. And so she wanted to leave her divorce in the Black, and enter into that next phase. And that made it all make sense for me. So while there's, a lot of moments of times where, ooh, what did my depression look like? Ooh, that's a question. I have to think about that. Again, I didn't realize that I was depressed. So it's hard for me to say what it looked like. I'd have to ask my friend like how she knew, because I think if I thought about how I was feeling at that moment, I was always just striving to push through, and it always felt like, it's like you're drowning, right? Like you're trying to swim, but you're like taking in water in every gulp. But I wasn't in a space where I was willing to share that with people, or I was willing to be open and to talk about exactly what was happening. So I just kept drowning, to be quite honest. But if I think about where I was in my career, I was still advancing in my career. So nobody would have noticed it there. I could still pay my bills. So no one would have noticed it there. So again, that's why I think it's so important to have people who know you. I may have to go back and ask her the question to be like, I don't even know if she remembers, because I tell her all the time how that was a pivotal moment in my life. And she'd be like, really? That was a big deal? I'm like, yeah, girl. But I did ask her why she shared that. And she said she felt like she needed help. Like she didn't know what to do to help me out in that situation. So I don't know what it looked like from the outside, but I know that I was, struggling emotionally, just like not in a good space. I probably spent a lot more time on the couch than I care to. I wasn't as active. I wasn't doing the things that, gave me joy. I was really just trying to survive. Work, wife, kid, that was my life. Good question though. So again, super important to make sure that you have people in your life who can see you and who you trust, so that whenever they call out something like that, you're able to listen, and respond to that. So I would love to know you guys' thoughts on the movie. Did you like it? What scene stands out to you? There's so many more scenes that I want us to talk about, but I'd love to hear from you guys. What stood out to you? Oh, actually, I have this picture from when I was depressed. This is the day. I don't know if y'all can see it. Okay, this right here. This is the day. This is the day we turning up. We having us a real good time, and we sat down, and that's when my best friend was like, "Yeah, my best friend's depressed." So I think it's good that you asked that question of what does depression look like, because from this picture, you would have never known. Now, granted, I wasn't in a space where I was like suicidal or anything like that, but I do think about all of the celebrities who, we see videos of them the day before or 2 days before, the day of them, unaliving themselves. And we're like, oh my gosh, they seem so happy. So depression doesn't always look sad, at least not in all moments, or at least not in the moments that we choose to share. Right. There's obviously some sadness there. And in this movie, her parents were able to show what those moments look like, even if, maybe nobody said anything in the moment, but being able to watch it, it was very, very pivotal. I will talk about a couple things that I don't want to be negative, but this little piece just like really bothered me. So after the funeral, no, this is the next day. So after the funeral happened and she was carpooling with her homegirl, and her homegirl Rona is like giving her the business, talking about, why she don't like this man. In the end of that little scene, Ava was like, can we just get to work? Like, can we just talk about something else so that we can get to work? And so Rona turns on the music and she was like, "Ooh, this is my song," or "This is my jam." But then she didn't bop her head. Like, she really sat like this the rest of the car ride. And I'm like, if this is really my jam, I'm going to be in the car doing something. And that part right there, it really was just like a little small thing that was like, come on, Tyler, like, come on, you got to direct her. You got to make sure, that she's, if she says that something is her song, then she needs to act like that it is her song. I did love the surprise divorce party. As a divorcee, my friends definitely had a celebration for me after my divorce, and it was so refreshing, because it can be a difficult time for some people. Actually, I remember the first person that I had. Somebody was doing some work for me, and I told them that I was going through a divorce, and she was the first person that said congratulations, and she was like, "Best of luck to you in this next phase of your life." And I was like, "Oh, I like that." So even in these difficult moments, if you can find a way to celebrate, if you have those people who are around you that can help you find the bright side or find the thing that you can focus on to help get you through these difficult moments, I'm telling you, your crew, your family, those people who are close to you really can be the deal breaker in terms of how you transition into the next phase. So shout out to them for putting that scene in there. I do wish that this was more of a girlfriend's movie, more so than Here Come a Man to Save the Day. I just feel like that part was just a little tired. Like Benji didn't have to have the role that he had. I felt like, he came in to save the day or whatever, but this definitely could have been a moment where you see the evolution of the friendship, or the friendship deepening between Ava and Rona. That is one thing that I wish would have happened in here. Let's see, what else? What else? Oh, okay. Now let's talk about Dallas and his family, right? Man, it's hard. Family is a sensitive subject, I'll say, because for some people, they have super loving and supportive family members. And for other people, their family can be the greatest source of negativity, right? So when you think about the role that Dallas's family played in his life, it wasn't all bad. I totally understood. I ain't even gonna hold you. I totally understood when the mother was like, I don't want the casket, I don't want these clothes, because y'all are not going to hold these things over my head as if I need you for any of them. Now, she probably needed some guidance and support in other areas, but kind of these material things don't matter, and my family is what's important. So boys, get the body. That part was wild. That scene was really wild. But I did understand, autonomy and pride, right? And pride in a positive way, not in a negative way, but like, having a sense of some dignity about yourself. I guess it's a little bit of a oxymoron, because she did remove all of her clothes. So it's like, is that dignified? But at the same time, she's like talking about her family. But I appreciated the brother. I forget his name. I want to call him Walter, but that's probably not that man's name. But anytime Dallas was cutting up, Ava would look to the brother, be like, yo, get your brother, like, talk to him. He's wilding out. So it felt like he was a positive voice, at least a neutral voice, but more positive leaning in Dallas's life. But at other times, I can't remember, I don't know if they identified which brother was on the phone, but like his brothers were calling him like, I told you she was cheating on you. She been cheating on you the whole time. And it's like, that wasn't even true. Like that did not happen. So you really gotta be careful. You gotta take a look at the people in your life and including those family members at times to say, are you the type of person to bring me good news? Or are you the type of person to bring me bad news? All right, because those people who are constantly bringing bad news, we all know a lot of things that we experience in life is about the perspective that you have, and the events that happen to us are usually neutral, but it's about whether we choose to see them as positive or negative. And if we have these people in our lives that are constantly bringing us the negative, then how can we ever move into a better situation? So yeah, that I did appreciate that one brother, but then he ended up showing out in the end anyway. Um, Now I did say I didn't understand. I didn't initially why she allowed Dallas to go upstairs when she knew Benji was up there. I was like, girl, you asking for trouble. I didn't even realize that Benji was up there because she came home like she ran to the grocery store or something. But when she came in the house, Dallas was sitting downstairs eating a bowl of cereal. And when he's talking about he's going upstairs to take a shower, she did not try to stop him. She casually followed him right up those steps. I guess she was like, "You're gonna see what's waiting for you up there." But you got to be careful when you put yourself in situations like that. I always say that you have to be careful. You can't teach people a lesson. Only God can do that. So when you're out here trying to set people up like, oh, he gonna learn today, but then that ends up putting you in a more difficult situation or those around you. Now Benji up here fighting, he got woken out of his sleep to a fight. Like, why would you put him in that situation? Why would you put yourself in that situation? Try to deflect, diffuse, get him out of the house. So I wasn't a fan of that part. But I guess in the end, she wanted him to see that she was talking to somebody else or was dealing with Benji, but she knew that was going to hurt that man. All in all, I enjoyed the film for the drama of it all. I feel like if Lifetime can get away with having, a whole network based off of predictable drama, then I will give Tyler Perry some slack. However, I do feel like there was an opportunity for him to flush out a little bit more of the storylines. I would have loved to see more information around the background between Jim, which is Rona's husband, and Dallas, because Jim appeared to, he said that Dallas was his friend. So did Rona and Ava become friends because Dallas and Jim were friends? And then once Jim started dating Rona, he kind of introduced her to Ava. Was there some type of loyalty that Jim had to Dallas that allowed him to kind of, I don't want to say he excused his behavior, but he didn't cut him off. He continued to be there, and he tried to steer him in the right direction, but it was like it was always too late. So those are some things, and the way it ended, I swear it felt like Tyler got tired of writing, and he was like, all right, we're just gonna end this. Let's just go ahead, boom, boom, bang, bang. He got shot, he dead, end of the movie. So I wish there would have been a better resolution, or at least a little bit more thought behind how the resolution came to be. But this is all about y'all need to break up. So it's not just about the relationship that needed to end with the person, but I think, we all have an opportunity to break up with the people who are constantly feeding negativity into our lives. We have an opportunity to break up with losing ourselves and pushing those who are closest to us away when we know that these are the people who love us the most. So I hope you enjoyed the movie, or whether you did or you didn't, leave a comment. Let me know how you felt about it. And next Thursday, we'll be right back here with Y'all Need to Break Up. Bye-bye.